Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all different ages, my name is Registered Sinner, though you can call me Sinclair, if that's what you prefer. I'm afraid of bugs. That's it. That's the video. No, just kidding. Stay here, please, please, please. I'm terrified of bugs. I think everybody is scared of bugs. Some people love them, some people hate them, but some people are just terrified of them. It's a phobia. It's something that exists in our world. Bugs are icky, they're crawly, they're just not cool. They don't look nice, some of them, but people can sometimes tolerate bugs. For example, if you see some ant infestation, you just call the exterminator calmly and say, yo, kill the ants in my house, they're kind of destroying my food. That's pretty simple. I, on the other hand, will have a full-blown panic attack and hide in my room the whole day. Phobias. Gotta love them. And what is worse is that currently, where I live, there are cicadas everywhere. For those who may not know, cicadas look like this. If I can put a picture of one up on the screen, I will. I can't even handle thinking about them, so we'll see how that goes. Cicadas are icky creatures that I don't understand the meaning of why they're here. I did do research about it because it'll go into what I'm talking about today. But this is a 17-year migration, meaning every 17 years cicadas will come up and just migrate to different parts of the US mostly. I think they're around in different parts of the world, but according to my boyfriend, they're not in the UK. More reasons to go. I mean, my boyfriend's the first reason. Don't like cicadas, never have. My parents have stories of me hating cicadas. My brother, on the other hand, loves them. He used to pick them up from the trees and put them on his arm. Polar opposites, am I right? How are we related? No clue. But I just can't handle them. Even just looking outside the window and seeing one, full-blown panic attack, I gag, I want to die. So it is a huge phobia of mine. And since they are everywhere right now, they're quite literally all over the trees, the windows, well, not the windows, if they were in the windows, I would cry. They're all over the trees, the grass, the ground, everywhere, and it's gotten to the point where I feel like I can't go outside. I go to therapy. I have been going to therapy for some time now, and my current therapist that I've been seeing for basically 3 years is an art therapist. Something we've talked about to conquer this fear is by drawing these bugs. It'll force me to look at them and use them as references, maybe create them into a character. I originally did this about a year into our therapy and actually created this character, who I'm showing on the screen, hopefully. Future me, you better do that. His name's Dominic. He's based off of a moth. His design's based off of a moth, and I have plenty of other designs of me just studying moths. I don't like how they look, but eventually after some time, after studying how they look, it got easier to look at them. And now when a moth flies up to the window, I just kind of go like, sucker, can't get in, ha, you loser. Anyways, so that is the basic idea of me conquering this phobia, making it into an art, making it into a character, doing some studies about it, because interestingly enough, the more you look at something, even if it's on a screen, the easier it'll get to conquer. However, for cicadas, it's a little bit different. I can't even fathom the idea of looking at one online, let alone studying it. I can read about them, but as soon as a picture pops up, can't do it. I can't. They are terrifying to look at. So, my therapist and I have come up with a plan. And I thought it would be nice to share this journey of me conquering this huge phobia of mine in an artistic way. And hopefully other people who have phobias like mine can join in along the ride and see how it goes. And that is drawing the cicadas. This is gonna go well. I had already started this with my own therapist this past Wednesday. I'm not sure when this video will come up, but it's something I already started during my therapy session. I had just drawn the cicadas from memory. I first drew them a bit normal looking, and then I decided maybe if I do a little goofy cicadas, maybe I won't be shaking as much while I draw them. And ta-da! I think it worked. Now, I'll be honest, I have no idea if this looks like an actual cicada. This is how I drew it from my memory. I didn't look at any reference pictures because I don't feel comfortable looking at one yet. I'm not ready to study them and actually look at the images. So I just did it from memory. And I've decided from now on, for 30 days, I will draw cicadas and see how that goes. As you may be able to tell, the video title says it's just been a week. That is because I'm just going to draw a page full of them one day for a week, without having any images, without studying their structure or looking at them, just for a week. Hopefully by the end of the week, I'll feel a bit more confident enough to actually look at images of them. And while I'm doing all this, you guys are tagging along if you're watching. I'll be drawing them on camera. I'll then also show you my studies if I do end up doing that after this week. If not, I'm sure I'll figure something out to conquer this more. But for now, we're just drawing them from memory. So, as I already said, I've already done this. Let's start this tomorrow, because I'm procrastinating. And also it's Sunday, so tomorrow! Today is day 1, so it is Sunday, May 26th at 2 o'clock. We are going to be starting, and I'm going to draw on my art desk, or at my art desk. It's going to just be my sketchbooks. I'm using my micro pen. I'm not even going to really detail out the drawings yet, just because I want to get a feel for it. And plus, it's kind of fun drawing with a micro pen only. As mentioned, we are just going to be drawing them from memory. They can be goofy, they can be serious. I'm going to try goofy a little bit, just to see how it goes. I'm not really ready for the serious ones, so hopefully by Wednesday I will be, because that's when I have therapy, so that'll be fun. Funny story, yesterday after I finished recording my video and was just working some kinks out in the software, I was asked by my dad, hey, you wanna go outside real quick? I'm gonna go over to the neighbor's house. You wanna join me? And I was like, I guess. We had a whole plan. Okay, the neighbor's house is basically 2 houses down. Not that far. We were just gonna say hi to them, see how they're doing, all that stuff. Very neighborly stuff of us, huh? So we had a plan of how we were gonna conquer this fear for just a second. Just a second. He was gonna be walking in front of me to make sure there's no cicadas on the sidewalk. And I could hold on to his arm if I needed to. And I'm like, okay, fine, this is gonna go great. We're walking down the path to the driveway, and as we're at the driveway, there's a bunch of dead cicadas. I'm like, haha, this is great. I love this, Dad. You're so smart, you. As I'm stepping over a dead cicada, another cicada flies out of nowhere and lands on his shirt. I have never screamed so loud and ran so quickly in my life. Well, I can think of other instances, but this one was the most traumatic one, okay? So you get why I need to get over this phobia. It is actually just horrible. It's not fun. It's not fun for him. It's not fun for me. It's very embarrassing. So let's see how drawing them works and go from there, huh? What do you say, pal? Okay, yeah, let's get to it, I guess. So while I was drawing this, it was kind of rainy outside. It actually ended up being a huge storm, and I was just thinking, what would the cicadas do, or what would they look like if they're in the storm? How would their everyday life turn out? How would they look? How would they act? So I drew a few funny little cicadas. I was more calm about it, trying to just be goofy, instead of making it more serious. So for example, I drew one holding an umbrella, and while I messed it up, it turned out pretty nice. I also had my boyfriend on call with me through Discord so that he could be my moral support. He says hello. He was mostly there just watching me draw, making sure I was okay. If I had to pause for a second, which I did sometimes, he was there mostly to be a good distraction if I needed to calm down, which I really appreciate. It's usually good to do these kinds of exposures with somebody you trust and have somebody there to help ground you, especially if you haven't learned any coping tools at that moment. I myself, as mentioned, have been in therapy for about 3 years now, and even longer. My current therapist has told me to do some grounding exercises, which could be breathing, gathering my surroundings, just taking a minute to pause and look at something else, etc. So, if you're joining along with this and this is too much, just join along with the grounding exercises. They're very helpful. Talking about grounding exercises, do you see those at the corner? What are those? I hear you asking. As you might have figured out, I am an artist and I love Has Been Hotel. I made these doodles with a new pen on my iPad and sketched them out a bit more. And ta-da! There's stickers. I was pretty proud of them. I made the stickers at home. So, if you want to buy some of these stickers, feel free to check out my Etsy or my Ko-Fi for these stickers. I currently have a limited amount of stock, currently 5 per character, so get them while you can. Once I run out, I will create more, and hopefully if these get popular enough, I can use manufacturers to produce better quality stickers and more of them. So if you like Has Been Hotel, like stickers, or just want to support me, stop by my Etsy or Ko-Fi page and get your stickers today, because they'll be gone. And then you have to wait a bit longer to get yours. But ta-da! Sorry, shameless plug-in over. I figured I could talk about also what I was using to draw. I was using my Micron pen 03 and mostly stuck with cross-hatching, which is a form of shading that's mostly used in cartoons or comic books. It's one of my favorite forms, though it's can be pretty hard if you don't understand what you're doing, and it's something I like to practice every so often. What I mostly did is color in the things that are smaller, like the feet and the little, teeth at the front. For the eyes, I full on went with cross-hatching both ways and shaded in around the edges of the eyes so that it looks like it was kind of glowing from the light. In my head, cicadas have bright red eyes, though I'm pretty sure they don't have that in real life. So if I ever do color them in, I'm probably going to try drawing them with just bright red eyes. The wings were a bit harder to draw. I don't remember if they just have one pair or multiple, because some insects do have that. I just tried my best to go off of what I remember, and again, just stuck with being a bit goofy. Honestly, it was pretty easy. I was shaking a little bit, but there wasn't too much stress about it. I'm not sure if I was just shaking because I was drawing cicadas, but it felt easier over time. It felt more goofy. I kind of gave them all a personality. I based them off of things I would do during a rainy day, like reading a book to my boyfriend, or playing in a puddle if there weren't cicadas outside, or just standing out in the rain. I think having a more modern aspect included into these cicada drawings was honestly pretty helpful, but the problem is I feel like it was too easy. So tomorrow I'm hoping to challenge myself. But ta-da! Here's what they look like. Hope you guys like them. I honestly like how these turned out, similar to the ones I first drew. They're kind of goofy, kind of silly, cartoonish. It's very fun. I'm hoping tomorrow to draw something a bit different, just a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. Today's day 2 now, so it is Monday, May 27th. It's just about gonna be 1 o'clock, so around the same time I'm drawing this stuff. We're gonna go back to drawing it again. I'm thinking this time, instead of doing something more silly or goofy, I'm probably gonna do it a bit more seriously. It's still gloomy. There's a bit of sun out, so I know yesterday I was mostly focused on, it's raining. So let's draw something with that. But this time I'm thinking of doing something more like them on the trees, especially since right now I can see them pretty clearly on the trees from where we have a huge tree in the backyard. So from where I'm standing in the kitchen, I can see them right there. I think yesterday went pretty well. I feel like it's going a bit too easy, I'll be honest, and I think it is because I'm drawing them in a more cutesy manner, and also the fact that I'm not looking at them. I do feel slightly more confident with the idea of looking at them. Just a little bit. I'm a little nervous about it. I noticed I was shaking a lot yesterday, so I'm not exactly perfectly confident with it. Hopefully drawing them a bit more like on a tree or something would feel a bit better. Might ease my shakiness a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. I think it's been going pretty well. So that's all I can really say. I know today I have to walk to my neighbor's house actually to see something, so that's gonna be an exposure in itself. Fun! Just so you guys know, today is Memorial Day. It's the 27th. It is Monday. And I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day and to thank all the veterans who have worked in our armies and workforces like that. It's a very impactful thing. And I know my uncle, he was part of the Navy for a while. So, salute to all the veterans. I'm trying here. I know my mom was actually going to invite me to go over to my uncle's house. He's further into the suburbs, and I was originally going to go before I heard that they're all over the lawn, the cicadas, not the veterans, the cicadas. So I'm sadly not going. I'm just going to stay inside for today, maybe next year. But yes, happy Memorial Day to all the veterans and those who celebrate it. And thank you for your services. But for now, let's get back into drawing. Woo! As mentioned, I decided to go with something a bit more serious. So I decided, what if I draw some cicadas on a tree or a log? And that's what I decided to do. I felt myself being a bit more shaky during this drawing. I'm not sure if it's because it was way more realistic than how I was previously drawing, where all the cicadas were a bit goofy and more humanoid-like. These were just sitting there with their beady eyes. Terrifying creatures, I'm telling you. I just tried my best to continue going with it, and I'm honestly very surprised with how I'm good at the perspective changes with cicadas. Like, I was able to draw two on the side, and it actually looked different, and perspective. Why can't I do that with humans, huh? That honestly caught me off guard, so that kind of cheered me up after I finished. Though focusing on the log also helped a little bit. I just decided to put some details there instead of just mainly focusing on the cicadas. Again, I used my micron pen and just kept it simple. I didn't want to put too much attention on the cicadas and just kept shading how I normally was. I think the end results were pretty good. Like I said, I was still pretty shaky during it, mostly because it was more realistic. So, ta-da! This is how it turned out. Yeah, it turned out well. I don't have any problems with it. I'm actually surprised with it. Still, looking at them does make me a bit like, ugh, but not as bad as before. So we'll see what tomorrow brings us, how I'm feeling tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Some bad news. It is currently Wednesday instead of Tuesday, so it's not day 3. I combined in day 3 and day 4 because yesterday it was a pretty busy day. I had to do some stuff for my dad, and I just couldn't sit down and draw at all, let alone record. So today I decided to make up for it by combining both of the days. I'm mostly thinking of making a more fully fledged drawing instead of just a doodle. I'm kind of running out of some ideas of what to draw, so I'm just going to try my best, but I want to put in more effort today in just drawing the silly cicadas once more, especially since I think just drawing the silly cicadas has helped more than I perceived. I'm not sure how to explain it. I know yesterday, even though it was really busy, my dad had mentioned that there was a cicada on his back when he came back inside, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even... Cool, I guess. I would have panicked, but I didn't, surprisingly. I think it's doing something, even if it feels like it's not. It's doing very little. So we're just gonna try to make it up for today. I did not do anything yesterday, so sorry about that. As mentioned previously, I wanted to make up for the loss of time I had yesterday. I couldn't sit down and draw or record, so I decided to draw back to normal, the goofy cicadas, and have a more fully fledged out scene instead of just scattered doodles. Around this time, I also realized I'm starting to run out of ideas of what to draw, so I'm afraid that the next few drawings might not be working out in my favor. This time around, the cicadas were really loud. I had my windows open for a bit, but I had to close them because it was getting a bit too chilly in the house, but they were like a whole orchestra. We do live near a little area that has a lot of trees and grass, so a lot of the cicadas made it sound like it was a machine instead of actual bugs. I actually showed my boyfriend and he just sat there like, it sounds like you're in the rainforest, which is a pretty good way to describe it, I'd say. So because they were making so much noise and it sounded like a whole symphony, I decided to draw something around that. Maybe they're playing instruments in a way, or they're just singing. I also had noticed that my style reminded me a lot of the show Over the Garden Wall, which is by far one of my favorite shows. I love the designs, the creepiness, the characters, the story, everything about it is great. And since these cicadas are still a little bit creepy in a way, I was like, maybe I could reference Over the Garden Wall a little bit. So you may notice later, once I show the complete drawing, that one of the cicadas have a similar hat to Wirt, and the other has a very similar hat to Greg. I thought referencing the little boat scene where all the frogs are singing and playing a band together was pretty cute. It honestly made it more fun again, and I didn't feel as shaky once more, so I'd say it's a win. I do feel like I need to challenge myself still. However, as the week keeps progressing and I keep drawing these, I do feel a little bit more confident at looking at a cicada, so we'll see what happens then. But here you go! This one is by far my favorite. I had so much fun with this. Way better than the random doodles I made. This one was a lot of fun. I think it's because I decided to spice it up a bit, especially since I missed yesterday. It was definitely worth it. So let's see what tomorrow brings us. I'm very excited for it. It is day 5. You may notice I'm not wearing my yellow hoodie. My dog slobbered all over it. So that's fun. Enjoy this one. The other side, this fun hoodie. I know I'm off topic right now, but okay. Yesterday, I had a lot of fun actually drawing a more fully fledged art piece, slightly more, and I do feel a lot more confident. I'm finding myself feeling a lot more comfortable with the idea of cicadas and just looking at them. I actually was thinking of doing some research on them a little bit more. I had done so with my therapist, but I was a bit afraid of seeing the cicadas. I am running out of ideas of what to draw from what I noticed. I think I mentioned that yesterday as well. So we're gonna see how it goes. I'm not confident I'm gonna draw a lot, but hopefully the next 2 days, because it's only 2 more days, it's past 5. The next 2 days, hopefully I can figure out a solution for that. Thinking of drawing something a bit more detailed, but I still don't know what they look like fully. So we'll figure that out. I'm thinking of also coloring them in a bit more too. As I mentioned a few days ago, I see their eyes as like these red, scary eyes, but I'm pretty sure they're not like that. So maybe if I add a bit of color of the eyes with red, that might work. I'll figure it out. That's a problem for tomorrow, Sinclair, not me, Sinclair. So, but yeah, let's get to it. Let's see what I can draw today. This was a struggle, and not because it's drawing cicadas, but more because I just did not have any ideas. The cicadas were extra loud today, and it was because it was very warm outside. Usually that's why they make those buzzing noises, I found out. It's because of how warm it is. And I've always known that before as well. Even as a kid, I remember during the summers where we just had a few cicadas. If you hear them very loud, it means it's a very warm and nice day. Since it was a warm and very nice day, I thought about the beach a lot, so I was like, what about cicadas at the beach? But I still did not have a lot of ideas of what to draw, sadly. So this one's a very short little drawing and video of me drawing them. I really need to figure out what to do for the rest because I can't figure out what to draw, and it's starting to get a little bit frustrating. Tomorrow and Saturday, so days 6 and 7, the last 2 days, I am going to visit my mom, who's closer to the city, meaning she won't have as much cicadas around. I'm still going to draw. You won't be seeing the recording, sadly, because I can't record. I will still do a little voiceover about it and just talk about what I was thinking while drawing these. I'm aiming to do bigger drawings and having them colored in, at least the eyes, just so I can express how creepy these eyes are. But besides that, here you go. yeah, I didn't really get to do much. I just could not figure out what to draw, sadly. I think these are very cute. It's just I did not know what else to draw for that day. I wasn't feeling the best either, so it was kind of hard to do that. But yeah, let's go see what tomorrow brings us, I guess. As I had pointed out previously, I sadly can't record the drawings since I am visiting my mom in the city. Just the idea of recording in front of her while we were hanging out felt really disrespectful. So I can only share the images and the drawings I had made. This time, for the next 2 drawings, I decided to stick with something that was more fully drawn out instead of just doodles. I realized that I was running out of a lot of ideas, and it was probably because I did more than one. And for the future, I don't plan on doing more than one a day. This is my first time doing something for a whole week, as I never have been good at participating in art challenges. So, it is a trial and error, and I'm definitely learning from it. Day 6 was Friday, and it was actually my 2-year anniversary with my boyfriend. We were originally planning to watch Tangled the following Sunday. Since Tangled has such great music, I was thinking a lot about the music and even listening to a bit of the soundtrack from it, and wouldn't you know, it gave me some good ideas of what to draw. He actually suggested I draw Rapunzel and Eugene, though I didn't know how to do that with cicadas. So instead, I drew some cicadas dancing, or 2 cicadas dancing at least. I was inspired by the scene Kingdom Dance. It has great music and it's so much fun, so I just thought about drawing cicadas dancing. Especially since a few days ago I was thinking about the sound the cicadas make and how it sounds like music, I figured it would be fun to build off of that a bit more. Maybe they're dancing to the sound of other cicadas. Maybe they're just dancing to the sound of other insects around them. If I am correct, cicadas also make noises, or these loud noises, to attract mates. So maybe this is their little mating dance, I guess. I think insects do that, so. Overall, it was much more fun. I had fun with it. You might notice a few things are different with the drawing because my brother was there and he corrected me on a few things. And the last day, day 7, so that was Saturday. I decided to be a bit more goofy. It was kind of harder to draw because I was suffering from dizziness. For the past 2-ish years, I've been dealing with ongoing vertigo. It comes and goes, so it kind of hit me over the weekend. I just felt like that one song by Dead or Alive, You Spin Me Round Like a Record. That's basically been my whole mood that weekend, and it still is kind of happening today. It's just how I've been feeling for the past few days now, and hopefully it goes away soon. It usually comes and goes. But it was fun to just draw the cicada sitting in one of those spinning teacup rides you'd see at an amusement park, because that is kind of how it feels. Not as intense, of course, more like after you get off the ride. That's how it feels a lot of the time. This one was really quick. I couldn't really sit down and draw for too long or look down for too long because I wasn't feeling too well, so I'm sorry for it to be so messy or small or simple. Still, it's fun, and I still enjoyed it. I thought it was just a fun little doodle. I wasn't really thinking too much about it because of how I was feeling. But yeah, those are the last 2 days. So, woo, we did it! It's been 7 days now, so a whole week since I've been drawing these cicadas. It's currently Monday, as you can tell. So I was finishing this recording because I realized it's really hard to get this all done by Sunday. Woo! I'm gonna start studying them, so the idea of drawing a cicada every day is not gonna work out probably. I'm gonna instead try to study them a bit more. Something I actually talked to my therapist about this past Wednesday is, even though I'm slightly a bit more comfortable with the idea of looking at them, still I'm worried I'm gonna be grossed out. So instead of actually looking at a real life cicada picture and being grossed out and backtracking all the way back to square one, we talked about instead looking at a realistic image or a drawing, realistic drawing of one of them. I think that would be much easier, especially since I know it's not a real image, it's a drawing. It also can help me figure out their structures. My brother had mentioned a few things I need to correct in my drawings, like how they have 4 wings instead of just 2. the amount of legs, which I kind of don't want to think about right now, but you know, he's an expert in these creatures for some reason. So yes, I do feel a bit more confident in drawing these cicadas and actually trying to do a little bit of research on them. I'm going to try to do it today, however I do want to draw some other stuff, some regular art instead of just cicadas, so maybe I'll just take a break from today and start tomorrow. Who knows? But thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, I'm gonna do what every other YouTuber asks you to do and subscribe or like it. Thank you. And leave a comment. Tell me about which bugs you guys are afraid of. Or if you aren't afraid of bugs like Weirdo, which ones do you like? I like dogs. I mean, I do, but I also like rabbits. I don't like bugs. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Oh, it's a bird. Is it a mourning dove? Oh, it's a little bird. It is a mourning dove. Huh. Anyways. Anywho, sorry. I got very distracted there. How was I talking about? Cicadas. So yes, I do feel a bit more there's a bird right outside the window.